Let's take a journey to Santa Fe, New Mexico, shall we? First, I take you to the Loreto Chapel. We get to see the miraculous staircase. Loreto Chapel, Santa Fe, New Mexico. The Loreto Chapel in Santa Fe, New Mexico is a former Roman Catholic church that is now used as a museum and a wedding chapel. It is known for its unusual helix-shaped spiral staircase, the miraculous stair. The Sisters of Loreto credited St. Joseph with its construction. It has been the subject of legend, and the circumstances surrounding its construction and its builder were considered miraculous by the sisters. The chapel was commissioned for their girls' school, Loreto Academy, in 1873. Archbishop Jean-Baptiste Lamy had brought in two French architects, Antoine Molly and his son Projectus, to work on the St. Francis Cathedral project, and suggested that the sisters could make use of their services on the side to build a much-needed chapel for the academy. Projectus ended up being the main architect for the project, basing his Gothic Revival design complete with spires, buttresses, and stained glass windows imported from France. The chapel was built from locally quarried sandstone and took 5 years to complete, being officially consecrated in 1878. Three mysteries surround the spiral staircase in the Loreto Chapel: the identity of its builder, the type of wood used, and the physics of its construction. When the Loreto Chapel was completed in 1878, there was no way to access the choir loft, 22 feet above. Carpenters were called in to address the problem, but they all concluded access to the loft would have to be via ladder, as a staircase would interfere with the interior space of the small chapel. Legend says to find a solution to the seating problem, the sisters of the chapel made a novena to St. Joseph, the patron saint of carpenters. On the 9th and final day of prayer, a man appeared at the chapel with a donkey and a toolbox, looking for work. Months later, the elegant circular staircase was completed, and the carpenter disappeared without pay or any thanks. After searching for the man and finding no trace of him, some concluded that he was St. Joseph himself, having come in answer to the sisters' prayers. The staircase, as originally built, lacked handrails and was reportedly so frightening to descend that some of the nuns and students did so on their hands and knees. Eventually, railings were added in 1887 by another craftsman, Philip August Hesch. The stairs have been mostly closed to the public since the chapel became a privately run museum in the 1960s. The stairway's carpenter, whoever he was, built a magnificent structure. The design was innovative for the time, and some of the design considerations still perplex experts today. The staircase has two 360-degree turns and no visible means of support. It is said that the staircase was built without nails, only wooden pegs. Questions also surround the number of stair risers relative to the height of the choir loft, and about the types of wood and other materials used in the stairway's construction. As beautiful as this chapel is, there must have been some kind of miracle involved. I just want to believe that, although supposedly the legend has been disproved. I believe a prayer was answered. If you're ever in Santa Fe, I hope you get the opportunity to go see this beautiful chapel. A blue door! Welcome to the Vargas Street House, often referred to as the oldest house. This house is the oldest house in Santa Fe, and therefore one of the oldest houses in America. It was built on the foundation of ancient Indian pueblo, dating from around 1300 AD. Why yes, that is a coffin on the left. Thanks for asking. The coffin is said to contain a replica of the headless body of Juan Espinoza, who was in 1960 a Spanish conquistador. He fell in love with a local girl. She was in love with another. He went to the De Vargas Street House, which at that time was occupied by two brujas, the Spanish word for witches, who gave him a love potion in exchange for a hefty payment of gold. The potion did not work, and Espinoza, enraged, returned to the house for his money back, which was refused. He drew his sword and went after the witches, who were too fast for him. He tripped, and the sword fell from his hand. One of the witches picked it up and promptly cut his head off. On our journey through Santa Fe, we run across the San Miguel Church, the oldest church. This church was built in 1610 making it the oldest church still standing in the United States. The church has been rebuilt and restored several times over the last 400 years. Santa Fe is a beautiful town, so if you get the opportunity, I hope you get to go explore all the sights and sounds and foods and smells that this city has to offer. And blue doors. Don't forget to look for blue doors. I'm glad you could come along on this journey to Santa Fe. If you're new to my journey, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss a thing. And hit that like button if you don't mind. Enjoy the journey. Lee Gypsy Child.